Hey you guys, it's Frank the Tank, and welcome to the very first week of this new 2022/23 Fall League. Finally, we're here. It's time for the big one. We're 2.5, possibly 3 weeks removed from that summer league in which you guys saw me and my team were victorious. Hell yeah. But now that that one's behind us, it's time to focus on this one. Unfortunately, my three teammates who were with me are not going to be with me on this one. They needed to take a step back due to their conflicting schedules for the remainder of this year. So I'm going to have to team with my old teammates from the last fall league, which is going to be interesting. It'll be good to see them again. But we had about 2 weeks off between that summer league and this new fall league that is now starting. So yeah, I had about 2 weeks off to take a break and then get back to the drawing board. And in that time, I've been working on my approach because that was one of my primary things after seeing what I was seeing in the summer league. Looking back at how I was doing. Definitely worked on my footwork, tried to clean that up, worked on my swing, continue trying to mess with that, and also worked on, if any of you saw one of my Summer League videos, my supporting hand, I think it was the very last week, the sweepers, my supporting hand would come off of the ball for like a split second and then find its way in another part of the ball. So at one point, my one hand, the one that holds the ball would be the only one holding that ball. So I worked on trying to keep the supporting hand on the ball, so it would actually be two hands on the swing until I get to the release point. Worked on my timing so that my finish at the foul line would be better and I wouldn't fall off balance so much because I really got sick and tired of that. Definitely dug deep into my arsenal and really tested out a lot of bowling balls, and I was not messing around this time. I made a firm decision on what is staying and what is going, and I'm sure you guys saw that too because for this week I rearranged my arsenal, and you guys could see that I had a lot less pearls and a lot less solids, and I only had like 2 hybrids. The urethane, I still have it. The fast pitch and the pitch black are the 2 urethane balls that I have, but I decided to leave them out because I'm still not 100% comfortable with urethane. I still have to practice with that, so that's why I decided to exclude them from my arsenal. Yeah, a lot of other bowling balls were missing, like the Crux Prime, the Idol, the Phase 2, many others. I decided to exclude them. They probably will be back, but like I said, they're still in the testing process right now because, like I said, I made a firm decision on what stays and what goes, and those bowling balls that you guys saw in that community post that I made where you guys vote on my arsenal for the first week, those are the bowling balls I am 100% comfortable with using in league and in a tournament if I ever took it to one. So that's what the arsenal is going to look like for right now, and I'm going to continue doing this whole testing with all the bowling balls and all that stuff. So for right now, that's what it's going to look like. But for this very first week, I did have some concerns on my own game walking into this one because my all that stuff that I was working on in my approach, my swing, and my footwork, I'm still not 100% all there yet. I'm still not satisfied with what I'm seeing. It's still a work in progress. And also with the arsenal, it's not much to worry about because obviously, as you guys saw there, I have a pretty solid arsenal of solids, pearls, and then the 3 hybrids now. And that's pretty much it on that. And the one thing that I did not practice, and this was one of my biggest concerns, was spare shooting. I did not practice spares at all because I was too busy working on my approach and too busy testing out all these other bowling balls, seeing what stays and what goes. So I walked into this one thinking that, hoping to God and praying, crossing my fingers, crossing everything I got, hoping that my spare shooting is still there, even though I haven't practiced it at all. So yeah, those were the 2 concerns that I have going into this thing. My approach not being fully developed, I guess, with the changes added that I wanted. I mean, my approach is pretty much all there. It's just those changes that I wanted to add aren't fully, in there. And then Also, the spare shooting. I was really hoping to God that it doesn't fall apart for this night because that first week for me, I feel is crucial. I don't want to start off with a really low average, even though I have heard from many people that it's never a good idea to score really high on the first week. I don't know why people say that. I don't care. I do what I got to do. But also for this first week, like I said, I put up a community post and I put the decision on you guys to see what you want me to take for this first week. And choices were interesting. So not very much else to say other than let's roll the clip and let's see what won the vote on what you guys voted on. All right, everybody, here we go. The very first night of this Friday Fall League. We are going to be on lanes 5 and 6. And another thing that I forgot to mention, that I actually had another concern about this Fall League, and that was that I found out that they decided to modify their house shot. So the old house shot from the Summer League, that is no longer with us. They now have decided to change a few things with the house shot, and I don't know in great detail what those changes are. The manager, she told me that they changed it up. I can't. There was one thing that she did say that the oil now it's more in the heads or something like that. I don't know what that means, but one thing that I definitely noticed is that there's definitely more oil on the outsides because there were during the all the practice that I had in between the time off, I did notice that every time I got my ball to the right too early, the ball would hardly come back. Sometimes it would gutter. So that's definitely something that was changed. And I wasn't going to complain about it, though, because obviously I don't want to be that one guy that stays stuck on one pattern and only knows how to bowl on one pattern, right? So I guess change is good, I guess. I don't want to be just used to one thing, otherwise I'll bowl really bad. And also, I can't stay stuck on the house shot forever. At some point, I'm going to do some sports patterns. But for this one, we're on a newly modified house shot of theirs. So that was going to be an interesting one. And also, if you may notice, I already upload a short little clip of this. I walked into this one sporting the new Belmo jersey. I think he collaborated with 12 Bagger Bowling or something like that to have this one made. It's called The First One. It's in tribute to Jason Belmonte's debut to the PBA, and it's also which was also his very first televised win, which is really awesome. I had to get myself one of those jerseys because that is like pretty iconic in my opinion. And, to have that design, it was really awesome. But one thing that was kind of a little bit of a downer was, and by the way, the jersey actually looks great. If you didn't get yourself one, well, you missed out because apparently they're all sold out now. I got mine immediately when it went live, and it looks fantastic. But the one downside is that it doesn't come with the matching arm sleeve. So I had my own made, and it's still in production, but it's on the way as we speak. But it looks so nice. Really fantastic job on the part of 12 Bagger Bowling and Belmo for that design. Yeah, for this, we started on the right lane and started off with the strike. Very good, a way to start the season. And in the 10 minutes of practice, I tried the Zen Master first, and I wasn't getting a very good look with it. I couldn't find a proper line, nothing worked, and I decided, okay, that ball's not going to work, so I picked up the Infinite Physics, and that one was also kind of a bit, not that great. And then my last choice was the Reality Check, and I threw like 2 shots on the right lane, and they both struck, and I'm like, I guess this is my ball. I guess that's what we're going to start with. And then, of course, I shot on the left lane too, and it was good too. So I made the decision, we're starting with the reality check. All right, so here we go on the left lane, and also as you guys just saw, I was lined up on 22.5, I think is what that was. But yeah, I messed up my form on the foul line there, but the ball clearly did its job getting back to the pocket. I tell you, that reality check, it's real strong. So yeah, that's what I see as the difference with the reality check and the reality is the reality check, it gets a little further down the lane than the reality, which makes sense because the reality is a solid cover. This is a hybrid. And this one definitely has more curve down lane for sure. But it gets further down the lane, which in my opinion would probably be great when the lanes dry up. And I'm honestly kind of a little surprised that this one stayed in my arsenal. I expected it to be gone very quickly because it's a hybrid cover, and I don't do so good with hybrid covers. But that shot right there instantly left off my hand. I set it up to get left of target. I knew it, and I stood up on it, and as a result, I left the 5-pin. And also on this right lane, I lined up the same on the same board as I did on the left lane at 22.5. And because I hadn't practiced my spares at all in the time off, I took advantage of the 10 minutes of practice and practiced as much sparing as I could. And also, I got to the lanes early and I practiced some spare shooting too, so I did play a couple games before league started. And it was nice to know that my spare shooting was still all there. All right, on the left lane. Already on the 4th frame, pretty good form. And you see what I mean? Got it to the right, but I didn't get it to the right early. I wish, well, I don't wish, but maybe at some point, I can't really remember, maybe you'll see a shot where I get it to the right too early, and you'll see that there is no way that the ball gets back. It either gets in the gutter or just it does return, but not in that way where you can expect that kind of forgiveness, if you know what I mean when I say that. So it seems like they modified this house shot to a point where there's less margin for error. But here we have the 2-4-8-10, and look at this. Picked up the infinite physics, swept them over, and somehow they managed to miss that 10. How does that happen? I mean, you can expect for that kind of thing to happen when you have the washout, you know, the head pin going right around the 10, but for the 2-4-8-10, that's just unheard of. It hurt right here. So for that shot right there, I felt like it was a pretty good one, and I was like a little bit caught a little bit off guard with why that happened, and it took me a while to notice what was really going on down lane. I knew my lack of practice in spare shooting had to come up at some point. After that unnecessary miss. Pretty good. But didn't really get back in a way. It got back a little bit late, and as you could see the way it hit the pocket, it deflected. And as a result, I leave the 7. Lucky it's not the 10. I want to avoid having to spare 10s, that's for sure. I'll be honest though, I was a little nervous about picking up the 7 because again, lack of practice in my spares had me like kind of feeling lost. But stuck to what I know when it comes to all the spares that I shoot, and luckily, like I said, it's all still there. Okay, so at this point, I just felt like I couldn't execute with that reality check anymore. I don't know what it was that was. I guess it was up here. My mental game. I was just screwing with myself, and because of that, I couldn't execute with that reality check anymore, and I didn't want to take the chances of throwing any more shots with it, so I made that switch to the infinite physics, as you see there. Got the ball kind of right of target, and as a result, it did get back, but didn't really hit into the pocket, even though it looked like it did, but I could see by the way that ball deflected, and that obvious 10-pin being there is more evidence of it, but yeah, I decided to make the switch because, you know, I just felt like, you know what, I'm not going to take the chances. If I can't execute with this reality check, I'm not going to bother trying to, you know, subject myself to trying to execute with that reality check. I'm just going to make the switch right now. Nice to see I can still pick up my 10s after not even practicing them not one bit. All right, so here we go with the infinite physics on the left, lining up on board 24 on this left lane like I did on the right lane. And I was kind of unsure because I was thinking to myself, can I still stand on the same boards with the bowling balls that I usually use? Because remember, they modified the house shot. And do I have to make adjustments with every bowling ball that I have? Like on the old house shot, I lined up on 24 with the infinite physics. So I'm thinking, do I have to stand somewhere else now? Is there some differences? And I just couldn't tell. I hadn't practiced on this new house shot of theirs. I haven't practiced on it enough to know. Do I have to? Do I not? I don't know. One thing's for sure is that first shot that I took, that was a bad one on my part. And as a result, I left the 2-8-10, and then that happened just to make it worse. So that's yet another open, and I think, let's see, that is the second split of this first game. So that's a great way to start off this very first game of League. And another thing that I noticed was that everybody on the opposing team, they were struggling as well. I was thinking, like, am I crazy, or is this really a struggle? No, everybody else was struggling too. So nice to know that I wasn't the only one. Because then one thing for sure is that it probably would have made me look like that kind of guy that's just making nothing but excuses. That's a nice one. But yeah, you see, I put my hands up right there like, what is this? What is going on? And I think at this point, I started to kind of realize, like, is the lane drying up down there already on this right lane? What is happening? But there I go, big four. There was nothing I could do about that. All I could do was just move on. So here I go on the left lane, still sticking with the same game plan, infinite physics lined up on board 24, and look at this. Threw it pretty good. Yeah, see, I had my hands up, like, what is going on? So not a really great way to end the 10th frame, and that is 4 splits in this game. 4. Unbelievable. And that is a pathetic 143 to start off the very first game of this new league series. Not cool at all. Alright, so here we go. Starting off game 2. Definitely have a lot of ground to catch up on now that I started with a really bad 143. So starting on the left lane, continuing with the infinite physics, but this time I moved to left. I made an adjustment. Yeah, I believe I made the move to 24.5 with that, and then I thought, okay, that one was definitely left of target based on what I saw. I knew off my hand that I didn't get it where I wanted to. And then this happened as well. I knew it before it even got halfway down the lane. Like, I thought, uh-oh, this is going to be close. I'm either going to chop on it or it's going to be close and I'm just going to get it. But no, unfortunately, it was one of those things where I get the pin in front but don't cover the back one. Okay, so here we go on the right lane, still on the infinite physics. And take a look at this. When is the last time I've ever done something like this? Because it clearly has been a long time. Take a look. Gutter on the strike shot. Wow. Now, I mean, I have guttered on spares before, but on the strike shot, oh my god. I don't remember the last time I ever did that. That is crazy. But for me, like, I didn't even want to think about it. I wasn't about to let it get to my head. I just immediately got back to the ball return, got my ball, set myself up again, and just forgot about it. I was striking that one from the record. But yeah, I mean, that shows you right there. Like, this new house shot of theirs, they definitely put oil on the edges because that ball did not come back. And I swear, their old house shot, there was no oil there so that the ball would come back if you got it to the right like that. But luckily, I managed to save it and at least get a spare. Alright, so here we go on the left lane, and I made another adjustment. I moved from 24.5 to 25, so I was on the dot. And unfortunately, I got it way too much to the right. And I'm telling you, see what I mean? Like, it looks like there's oil they're on the sides now. It's that ball just doesn't get back with the way you would expect from it from a house shot. Because I swear to God, their last house shot, that ball would have definitely come back. They definitely modified this in a way where that there's less margin for error, which is a good thing, right? I mean, challenge just a little, right? You don't want this to be too easy. Yeah, I was just like, wow. Like, you can't see the look on my face, but I'm thinking, what in the holy mother of Jesus is this? And I forgot to mention, yeah, I lined up on 25 on this right lane as well, seeing as how it was, what it was making the ball do when it got down lane. So that became more of an indication to me, like, wow, do I have to move even more left for this right lane? All right, so here we go back on the left lane after that 9 spare in the 4th, and I made the decision to switch balls again because I was noticing some things. I noticed that the opposing team, who are all playing up the right side, you know, like up this area, they were having a lot more success in striking, and I thought, okay, maybe that's what I should do too. So I picked up my Zen Master because I know that's what it's for. So take a look at this. See, kind of straighter angles, and I was like, there it is. And for that one, I lined up on 19, I believe. And another thing that I'm actually gonna try to work on to get better at is actually documenting everything that I do. You know, like in terms of adjustments and things like that, because I know that a lot of you who watch this stuff try to learn from what I do, and I know a lot of you listen to the kind of strategies I make and all that stuff. And if that really helps you, then I really feel like I need to, you know, really write all this stuff down, because I really don't, and I really feel like I should, because it's important. And that's one thing that I'm definitely going to try to work on is like writing all the stuff down, so that way I could better inform you guys on that, because sometimes I'm just like making these guesses as to where I think I am and all that stuff. But as you can see there on the right lane, the Zen Master, for that one, I believe I stood on 19 as well, because I remember in practice, I used to line up on board 17 with the Zen Master, but now because of these changes, I'm now having to be 2 boards away from that, so now I'm 2 boards to the left on board 19. Okay, so here we go with the Zen Master on the left lane after back-to-back jacks. It fell off my hand. You could totally see it right there. It just came off my hand and I got it left of target. I was hoping that maybe it would go Brooklyn, but nope. No help there. Pick up your spare and you move on. So yeah, after the back-to-back strikes, I thought to myself, okay, that's it. Zen Master is the ball that we're going to use for the rest of the night. So that shot, I was shaking my head like, wow, this right lane, man, it's drying up quicker than I could have ever expected it to. Again, I still lined up on board at 19 on this right lane, and the same thing with the left lane, board 19. But that right lane, man, I don't know what happened, but it was drying up super quick. Pretty crazy how things can change in just one frame. All right, here we go on the left after a 9 spare. See what I mean? That left lane definitely has some hold to it. Things look normal on this left lane. All right, so I believe we're in the 10th frame already. And I stood on 19 and a half after having been on 19 on this right lane, thinking that was enough of a move to make. But no, look. The ball went right through the nose, and yeah, you see my reaction. I'm like, what the? This lane is drying up like crazy. So yeah, that definitely ruined my chances of trying to get a 200 game. All I could do was just go for the count and settle for a 181. Alright, so based off of what happened in the 10th frame of that of game 2 that you just saw, I realized, okay, definitely not 19 and a half. We're going to stand on 20, and Hope to God that that's enough of a move. So there I went. And yeah, see, again, I went like, wow, just wow, how dry is this lane? So I noticed that the ball did make it to the pocket this time. It just went high and left me the full. So I thought, okay, I'm almost there. So I just told myself, all right, pick up that spare, move to the left lane that you know doesn't have any kind of problem. So on the left lane, I continue to stand on board number 19, hoping to God that the lane didn't change. And it didn't. It was still looking very good. So now I realized, okay, I have half of my strategy complete. All right, so for this right lane, I thought to myself, okay, I'm not about to take the chances with another half-board move. I'm going from 20 to 21 and hope to God that that's enough. And hopefully it's not too much of a move to where I'll hit the pocket light and leave a 10 or something like that. So I went to board 21, did my thing, aimed for my target, right on target, and hallelujah, it worked. So then my strategy for this game was complete, and I thought, okay, I can start repeating and strike and strike and strike. So on 19, continued doing the same thing, struck again, and I was like, okay, now I think I could do the impossible, because I realized, okay, obviously the chances of a high 600 series are gone because of that 143 and that 181. So now all I could do is try to salvage this and at least try to get a 600 series. So I did the math before the game started, and I realized, okay, I need to get like 276 or something like that. And I thought, well, remember what I did to achieve my first 700 series? I needed to get like 282, and I so clutched it, and I got a 288. So I thought to myself, okay, well, I did that, so I must be able to do this, right? I mean, I do have my strategy now, so now I just have to execute. So here I go on the right. And it was still good. We're still doing it. So with that 9 spare in the first frame, obviously I'm trying to go for 290 here. See that? The margin for error was there with the Zen Master. So instantly when I saw the how big of a window I had for errors, I immediately became comfortable with the Zen Master. That's what made me want to decide to keep this ball for the rest of the night. And I got lucky there. I mean, it angled itself going into the pocket, and luckily the 9 still, got tapped just enough to fall over. So here we go on the left lane, trying to achieve the impossible, trying to actually get a 290 to try to get into 600. Can you believe I'm saying that? Trying to clutch a 276 game, going for 290, trying to get a 600 series. So here we go. Strategy has not changed. Still standing on 21. We're on a string, that's for sure. I think this is the 9th frame. Looked good, right? But it picked up a little more, and it just... I think that went through the nose, and I just couldn't believe that. Like, wow, that was fast. I mean, how does a lane dry up just like that? I gotta be honest, those are one of the few things that linger in my mind when I'm out there on the lanes, is how long will I be able to maintain this strategy that keeps me striking? How long will it hold up? Because that's just one thing that has me going through my mind, is like, when is the lane going to change? Will I be able to notice it? That was out of nowhere. But in a way, I should have noticed it, because remember, the last time I was on this right lane, I hit the pocket and it struck, but the 9 pin was the one that fell down last. I only just got enough of it. So I kind of should have noticed it right there, but I didn't, because I forgot. But I did know for sure that I had to make a move if I had to go back on that right lane, because, well, you saw what happened. I knew the shot was good, so I knew, okay, a move would have to be made, but I told myself, well, thank God I don't have to go back on that right lane again, because the 10th frame ends on this left lane. But take a look at this. Shot seemed pretty good, but it dried up right there too, so I'm like, wow. I would have had to make an adjustment here too. But at least I can say that I kind of salvaged this because I was worried after those first two games. I was worried. Like, I was thinking to myself, am I really about to put up three terrible games for the first night of League? Hell no. This is not about to happen. So I'm glad that I at least managed to salvage the night with this game, at least, and put in a okay series, I guess. But at this point, I kind of just gave up and decided to do this. As you can see there, I switched to the infinite physics and I did this. Lined up on board 37 and I did that. Picked up my infinite physics, slowed my speed. I moved up a step on the approach to give myself less room so that I'd slow down. Moved far left, slowed my speed, let the ball hook the entire lane, and I managed to finish that really nice shot off with a strike, and I managed to finish this game with a really nice 256. Alright, so here we go for the summary for week 1. So game 1, we started off really badly, not in a way I would have hoped. We got 143, and then in game 2, we went up a bit with a 181. Still technically unacceptable for the skill level of which I play, but luckily in game 3, we managed to save it, and we got a really nice 256 game. So that made for a total of 580, and let's see, the pin total after week 1, obviously, as you can see there, 580 after 3 games played. That gives us a 193.33 average, which I gotta say, I feared that it would be lower, but after doing the math and seeing that it was 193, I had to be like, okay, well, that's not terrible. If I'd have been in the 180s, I would have looked at that with disappointment. But luckily, a 193 is not so bad, and we could definitely build on that going into the second week of League. And as of right now, after this week, as you can see, my highest series is now 580, with my highest game being 256. So that is how we wrap up week number 1. The ball that I ended up putting back in the bag in the 10 minutes of practice ended up being the ball that saved us from a really bad night to start things off. Pretty funny how that ended up working out, but I think I kind of got this new modified house shot under control. I mean, I'm definitely going to go to another day of practice to try to figure things out with that. And then I'm still, obviously, as you guys know, working on my approach a little bit. Spare shooting, nice to see that I never lost my momentum with that. So really nice to see that. And I'm still kind of working with my arsenal, seeing what stays and what goes. But that is not necessarily that important, but I'm still going to be working on it. But I won't put too much effort into it because, you know, there's more important things to focus on in this stuff. So, yeah, that is it for week 1. That to start off this fall league series. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm Frank the Tank, and I will see you guys in week number 2.